Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start some beans. I have my pinto beans here. I know that beans are kind of hard to find right now, so you can just use canned beans as well. But I do have beans, so I'm gonna go ahead and start them now. Okay, so I have my water in my beans. Now I'm going to start my range. I'm going to be making these beans throughout the day, so I'm going to put it about 3. And I do have my bacon grease here that I have from yesterday morning. I'm going to go ahead and add this in. Okay, got my bacon grease added. Now I'm going to add and I'm going to just let my beans cook throughout the day. About probably like 3 or 4 hours. Okay, so my beans have been cooking for 3 hours on like a low to medium heat, which is 3 on my range. So it's been cooking for 3 hours. They are perfect. I did add more water. You can tell that they're very soft and they'll be easy to smash. So now I'm going to add some salt. So just regular salt here. I'm going to add some salt in here. And give it a stir. And you can taste them to see if you need more salt. Or just leave it as is and taste it later. So to me they're done. I'm going to go ahead and just leave the lid on there. I'm going to turn it off. And next we'll be working on the rest of our stuff for the chalupas. For my chalupas, I'm going to be using some ground meat. I'm going to be using some corn tortillas to fry up. My avocado getting away. Some sour cream, queso fresco. I have a little bit of avocado in here. Some lettuce, some shredded Mexican blend cheese. I have my daughter over here making homemade tortillas. If you want a tutorial about like easy, simple, easy homemade tortillas with all-purpose flour, when you don't have the tortilla mix not available in the stores because we cannot find it anywhere, so we're having to use all-purpose flour, lard, and hot water and salt. So she's making the tortillas. So this is all I'm going to be using. I have my beans already that are already made. Now let's start to cook. Oh, and rice. We're going to be making some rice today. So let's get started.
That's funny how we can't even say fresco, we can say dumb.
No, don't say that. That's ugly. Okay, so my beans are already made, as y'all saw a little bit ahead of this. I'm going to get started on my rice because my rice is going to take longer than my ground meat. So I do have my pan here. I'm going to go ahead and turn my range to 7. I've been cooking a little bit higher lately. 7 instead of 5. I was kind of stuck on 5 for a little while, but I'm moving up. Alright, and now I'm going to get some vegetable oil, and I'm going to just pour some in my pan, like that. I'm going to let that get a little bit hot, and then I'll throw my rice in there. My oil is nice and hot, so I'm going to go ahead and add my rice to it. I don't really measure how much rice that I'm using. I just kind of, you know, look and see how much rice. So I'm going to go ahead and just pour some in here. Just basically enough for dinner. You know, what I think we're going to require. Most of the time we have leftovers, but that's okay. So I poured about, I don't know, a little bit more than half the bag. So here's the rice. I'm going to go ahead and give it a stir. And I'm going to make sure that I coat it with that vegetable oil, so it can be nice and shiny. Like so. Then I'm going to get some comino and season it up. I'm going to get some garlic powder and add that. Then I'm going to just toss a piece of onion in. You can cut it up, or you can just toss, you know, a chunk in. I toss a chunk in because there are some people in the family that don't like onion, so it's just nice to just pick it out, other than having chopped onion to pick out. So I'm going to just move the rice around and move that onion around and let this the rice brown a little bit more. Then we're going to be adding our mixture. Now for my mixture, I like to use this, the Knorr caldo de tomate, the tomato with chicken flavor. What I do is I take 2 tablespoons of this and I'll just put it into a cup. I have my tall Starbucks cup here. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 tablespoons of this, like so. And then I'm going to take some hot water and put it in there. Got my mixture here. I'm going to go ahead and just stir this around. And pour this into my rice. Give it a stir. And then I'm going to add a little bit more hot water. And I would say I put about 3 cups of water total. So now I'm going to just lower my heat down to 3 because I do like to slow cook the rice. And I'm going to go ahead and put a lid on it. And we will just be watching out for the rice. Now let's get started on our meat. So I do have here ground meat. I do have my pan, and I did already put it on 7. So I'm going to go ahead and take some non-stick cooking spray and spray my pan. Added my ground meat. I'm going to just break it up. Got my ground meat all broken up. I'm going to be adding some salt. Some pepper. Some garlic powder. If you have taco seasoning, you can definitely do that also. I don't have any today. Now I'm going to just give this a stir. Okay, I got that ground meat stirred up with all those seasonings. Now I'm going to take the other half of my onion from what I put into the rice. I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the ground meat and stir that in. And next, I'm going to just be putting a lid on this so that it could simmer and get some of that delicious onion flavor. I love cooking with onion. If it was up to me, I would put onion in everything. Alright, now I'm going to get a lid on this. Got my lid on it. Now I'm going to just lower this down now. Also to 3, same as my rice, and just let that simmer. Checking up on my rice, as you can see, I'm seeing that the fluid is really going down, so that's my time to check up on it. So what I'm going to do is, it is very low on liquid. I'm going to go ahead and just take a little bit of more hot water, hot tap water, and just put it in there. Basically until I see it like this, like how I can see the water above the rice. That's what I want to see. Sorry. That's what I want to see. Then I'm just going to take the edges and kind of poke at them a little bit and bring them in. Like so. So that all around can also get some of that liquid. And like that. And then I'm just going to put my lid back on and let the rice finish cooking. As you can see, it is not done. You can still see that there's like that white in them. So meaning that it's hard. I mean, they're still hard. So I'm gonna go ahead and let these cook a little bit more. Checking up on my ground meat. It's looking good. I'm just going to move it around a bit. I do like to cook the ground meat a little bit more. But you can definitely stop here if you don't mind, you know, it like this. You can stop here and just drain it, but I'm going to go ahead and cook this a little bit more, and then we will get to draining. My rice and my ground meat are cooking. I'm going to go ahead and start smashing some beans. You can put them in a blender and blend them up. I do like them like that, but it's just a hassle to like get my blender out, put them in there, you know, and then have to clean my blender. I already clean and wash dishes, a lot of them. So I just don't want to add to my dishes. So I'm going to go ahead and take my bean smasher, or my smasher. It's not specifically made for beans, I guess. And I'm going to just smash my beans while my rice and ground meat are cooking. Alright, beans are smashed. I'm going to go ahead and just leave these alone until we're ready to warm them up. Just a little preview of our delicious tortillas that we're cooking up here. My daughter is just on a roll here. Yum-y. Okay, checking up on my rice. This rice looks real good. Like, it looks ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and turn off this element that my rice is on, and it looks really good. Like, really good. I don't want to touch it, but I am. Oh, yes. Look at how perfect that is. Okay. So, what we are going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and put the lid back on it. I'm going to go ahead and move this aside. Over here, and we are going to get started on our shells. I have another pan for my shells here. I'm going to go ahead and turn my range back on to 5, and I'm going to take some vegetable oil and just pour some vegetable oil in there for my shells. Like so. Probably a little bit more. Like so. I'm going to let that warm up, and then we're going to start making our shells. If y'all want a video on these tortillas, let me know. Up on my ground meat. It has been cooking a little while. I'm going to go ahead and stir it. Okay, see how it's browner now? That's how I like it. Like, browner. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a stir, and we are going to drain this. Okay, my ground meat is all drained. Now I can really focus on making my shells. So this is done. Now let's get started on my shells. I got my hot grease over here. Vegetable oil, you know what I mean. Alright, taking my first one there. Let me get a spatula. Okay, got my spatula. So here's my corn tortilla. I'm going to go ahead and flip it. Be very careful when you flip it because it could splash you. So let's flip it that way to be safe. So you can just, you know, mess with it, stay with it, you know, kind of watch it, or you can just get, well, what I do is, I don't know, I mean, it's up to you. is I get my spatula here and I just kind of leave it like that while I do other things and let that cook just a little while. Like I'm telling you, don't leave it for too long because then you'll come back and you'll have a burnt tostada. So it's really up to you how you want to do that. So while I'm cutting my avocado or getting my cheese ready, my lettuce, things like that, all the things that I'm going to top it with, I'll just leave it like this. But it's really up to you. If you want to stay with it, by all means stay with it. It's probably safer to do that. Don't do as I'm doing. So this one I'm just showing you what I do. I'll leave the spatula just there on top of it to hold it down. And I've really noticed that yellow corn tortillas work better with the tostada than the white ones do. I don't know. I see a little bit of difference, but you can use whatever corn tortilla you want. These are yellow, so I just feel like they listen more. They're more obedient. You know, they don't, I feel like the white ones kind of, they try to fold and, you know, I feel like the yellow ones kind of behave better. So this is really turning chip-like. It's really stiff, as you can see. What I want is I want some crispiness. I want some more brown on it. So I'm going to just leave my spatula on there a little while longer and continue to flip it, continue to mess with it, and until I get whatever color I want it to be. So I do like them crispy. I mean, if you like it like this, you can definitely get them out already. But as you can see, that brown starting to form, that's what I like on the majority of my shell. So it's really your preference, however you want, you know, whenever you want to stop. I'm not going to stop till I see some more brown and some more toastiness. As you can see, it's getting more and more toasty, and that's what I like. Okay, so these are pretty much to my liking. As you can see, they are brown. They're not as light as they were. I just like that crispy crunchness from them. So what I'm going to do is I just have a plate with a napkin, and I'm going to just put that on there just so it can drain some of that oil off. And I'm going to continue this process until I have all my tostadas that I need for my family. Almost done. Okay, I am now on my second to the last tostada. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my burner for my beans, and that can be on 3 just so they can get reheated. I'm just going to let this get reheated. Then we'll be ready to plate. Okay, while the beans are reheating, this is your time that you, if you didn't already taste them, go ahead and taste them and see if they need anything else. Mine need some salt, so I'm going to go ahead and add some salt. And give it a stir. And then give it a taste again and see if it needs anything else. And we are almost ready. I know I'm ready. I'm hungry. fancy, but y'all get the point. I'm gonna eat this.
That is why nobody outside this kitchen is gonna find out. Would you expect us to keep our mouths shut? No. I'll keep your mouth shut. Okay, hot pants. Now, we tired of playing games. You know what's in your sauce. You can forget it. You're not going to
Some queso fresco. I'm gonna put some on the side for me also. And here's the finished product. Tostadas with rice and beans. I cannot wait to eat. I'm so hungry. We also have our homemade tortillas here for whoever wants a taco instead. And this is it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time.